All right, time remapping. Check it out. If you right click on this video, you can go up to the time menu and enable time remapping. Let me just show you what this video is. It's just this guy on a dirt bike doing a 720, all right? I want to mess with the time so that I can freeze, reverse, speed up, slow down. So I'll right click, go up to time and enable time remapping. In the future, just use Command Option T. All right, once you enable time remapping, you'll see these keyframes here. And I'll be using this diamond button over on the left-hand side. It's a diamond between two triangles, and that just allows me to just drop in keyframes. For example, I've now recorded this point in time, and if you copy and paste a keyframe and you have two identical keyframes side by side, it means a freeze because there's no change in the value. So that's one way you can kind of freeze your time, okay? Pretty useful. All right, let me show you time remapping on another video. This video shows a bunch of bikers just jumping over a hill. There's 4 of them. And one thing you can do with time remapping is to just speed things up. There's a lot of time wasted for the viewer. After this guy finishes his jump, we have to wait several seconds before the next biker comes up, and that's not an efficient way to edit your video. You don't want your viewers just waiting. So once again, enable time remapping, and what I'll be doing here, I'll just demonstrate on this one gap here. As soon as this biker hits the ground, we know he's landed safely. I'm using Command left or right arrow to move frame by frame. As soon as he lands, I'll just click on this diamond on the left here. And then I'm going to pause right when I see the next biker come up. There he is. Let me use Command left arrow to backtrack a little bit, a few frames. And from here, I'm going to just record this point in time. This is like a milestone. Each of these keyframes kind of represents something happening in the video. And I want to close this gap a little bit. Okay, let's get this guy. Okay, so he just finished landing. All right, see these two groups of keyframes? There's a pair of keyframes here on the left, which represents the first biker making his jump. There's a pair of keyframes right next to it, represents the next biker. So watch this. I'm just going to drag these keyframes closer together. I'll use the letter N to shorten my work area. And now you'll see a biker come up and then a biker right after that. So the time in between has been sped up. You can kind of see the leaves on the palm tree kind of like waving really fast because it's sped up. So this is another example of a way to use time remapping. Okay, finally, let's get over here. I want to review animating something on a motion path. I'll hit the letter G, and right on the same layer, I'm going to just create a motion path, all right? All right, looks like the trash trucks are here. I'm going to close the window real quick. Okay, hopefully it's not going to be too loud and it won't interrupt this lesson. Okay, I just used the pen tool and I drew a path. Immediately select the layer and hit M. When I hit M, I can see the mask path attribute, and all I really want to do here is just set a keyframe so that I can hit Command C and copy it. I've copied this blue keyframe to the clipboard and I actually no longer need this mask, so I delete it. I'll hit the letter P to expose the position attribute, and when I click on the word position and hit Command V to paste, this allows me to paste position data into it allows me to paste mask data into the position attribute. While all the keyframes are still blue, I will hold down Shift and use my left arrow, and I'm just adjusting the position. Now I'm using the down arrow, left arrow, and I just want to make sure that I can see the whole movement throughout this video. I'm also going to hit Shift R so I can see the rotation attribute. It will also be keyframing the rotation here. So using Command right arrow, I'm just looking for places to add some new rotation keyframes. And I'm kind of looking at the position keyframes and using that to help me decide when to rotate. Okay, and I think adding some of that rotation there is going to be really helpful. And when I use the letter N, I can trim my work area. Let's see. Okay, so there's my animation of a rocket. I've decided that this looks good, but my director, my boss, the client feels like there should be some adjustment to the timing. Well, instead of going into all these keyframes and sliding them around one at a time to adjust the timing, or even worse, starting over, what I'll do is select a layer and comp it to itself, pre-comping, okay? Generally, people assume that when you pre-comp layers, you're doing it to multiple layers. Well, you can repackage one single layer in a new composition by just going to the layer tab and choose pre-compose. I like to use Shift Command C and always choose this second option where you move all attributes into a new comp. Okay, I'll just rename this one Rocket Time. Once it's in its own composition, I can then enable time remapping on this layer. Okay, if I hit the letter P, Shift R, you can see that this new composition that we packaged the rocket in doesn't have any keyframes on these attributes. If you want to access those keyframes, all you need to do is double click and you can hit the letter U or show position rotation. Okay, so I'm in comp 1 now. I will hit Option Command T, or of course you can right click and enable time remapping there. Okay, here we go. I can speed up certain areas. For example, like I'll just drop in a keyframe by using the diamond, move this closer to the beginning. That's going to speed things up. Maybe I'll copy and paste. I'll copy and paste keyframe there to apply a freeze. And let's find out when this rocket stops. Okay, right about there. Let me drop a keyframe in here. And I'll just speed this up a little bit as well. And now I'm going to have a little bit of a faster move, a freeze. You know, when you want to, it's very useful to freeze because sometimes you might want to animate like a message that comes out, like a text message or something, right? That's good enough. There's okay, so there's a message right there. What I'm going to do is just trim my work area. I'm sorry, I'm going to trim the layer. You could use Option front bracket and then maybe just animate the opacity